row, row your boat gently down Ganges.
Here's the Manikarnika Ghat, the largest cremation site in Varanasi.
Ooh.
Let's head over for a better look. As you can see, on the steps, those are bodies wrapped up in cloth. They are drying the body after being submerged before shifting it onto the pyre for cremation. Here, you can see them building the pyre, preparing for cremation.
Whoa, that's a long process.
Hey, I noticed that there are a few groups of people seated around the men in the gut. Who are those men and what are they doing?
Those are priests conducting rituals for the departed.
I see that there are men conducting cremation in the burning gut. However, from observation, their appearance and job do seem to be different.
I heard that those involved in handling the dead, such as cremating the bodies and cleaning the river, are usually from the lower caste, also known as the untouchables. Is that true?
Yes, death is known to be contagious, hence only the lower castes are allowed to handle the body. It can be also due to health risks involved.
Oh my god, what's that?
That is a human corpse. There are a lot more dead bodies being submerged in the holy waters of the Ganges. We are used to seeing them floating here. While many deceased have their bodies fully burned before disposing into Ganges, a significant proportion of Indian population only have less than half bodies burnt. There are cases where even the entire body is submerged into the water.
Wow, I've never seen such a sight anywhere else in the world before.
You mentioned the submerging of bodies directly into the water without cremation. What are the reasons that people engage with water burial?
Well, there are religious and traditional reasons too. Children, holy men, and pregnant women are considered to be pure, and so there is no need to purify their souls with fire. Hence, water burial is done for them.
How about the higher caste people? Do they have a role in Ganges?
On the other side of the river, high caste men known as Brahmins can be performing rituals. These priests do not involve in the cremation.
I heard that in India, lower caste people are segregated by the society in large because they are seen as contamination. However, the situation I see in Ganges seems opposite.
Ganges is a place with extremes of castes coming together because they need each other to complete rituals for the dead. This is a rare situation because the lower castes are usually deprived of their rights and are dictated by the higher castes on the places they can go and the activities they can do.
They seem to lack social mobility because they are restricted in job and education.
The situation of castes in Ganges does not truly reflect the real situation faced by lower castes in society. In Ganges, the lower castes are in fact earning due to the high amounts of cremation they do.
Hey, I noticed that there are no women seen at the cremation site. Why is this so?
Critically, social and cultural factors embedded in the deeply patriarchal society has shaped sex differential in mortality. The low status of women, low literacy rate, and emancipation of women are stemmed from the cultural inscriptions of women's bodies. Discrimination of women arises from India's long-established dowry tradition where the bride's family are entitled to give the groom's family money or gifts. Thus, birth of women are seen as economic burden conditioned by societal norms to be subordinate to men.
What about the societal perception of men in Indian society?
Contrastingly, men are perceived to hold domestic importance as they can financially provide for aging parents and serve as a crucial role in death rituals in Hindu religion, which is to ensure that the soul of deceased family member is released from the body and go to heaven. Although most of the time, women tend to be more involved with the death than men, given their role as primary caregiver, women, either as family member or paid healthcare workers, are the ones who care for dying in India. So, social custom preference for male birth have also resulted in practice of sex-selective abortion and female infanticide.
That explains the article I came across recently about the sight of female infant babies found in the river.
Yes, Indeed, thousands of female children are abandoned each year, an extension of sex selection practices that include 500,000 abortions in India every year.
Hey Vivian, so why did you come to visit Varanasi?
Well, I guess you could say that I'm somewhat of a dark tourist. I'm interested in the cultural significance of death in the river Ganges. It is certainly not every day that you're taking a relaxing cruise down a river full of human bodies. What about you?
Wow, you're a bit weird. I came to Varanasi to experience the culture too, but I found that the situation here somewhat disappointing. I feel that as tourists, we are changing the significance of the space.
That's true. I've seen the changes over the years throughout my life. The hospices which once cared for the sick and dying are being taken over by accommodation for travelers. Landlords profit more by having hostels for tourists rather than hospices. I suppose it's a case of further contention in which individuals want to uphold the traditional meaning but need to earn a living from the tourists.
But there must be so many health risks associated with the submerging of the bodies. I mean, isn't this a place where people bathe, eat and wash their clothes? Surely it's not rational to continue with this practice. The government should do something.
The government has policies in place. It actually tried to ban the submerging of bodies which clog and pollute the Ganges. But you see, such cannot rationalize a historical and religious place in this way. It simply does not work like that. People have attached meanings to these rituals and spaces, and they will continue to uphold them even if they put their health at risk.
I've heard about one of the government policies. I believe that the government attempted to bring electric cremation, but guess you are right. About the historical nature of these rituals, people prefer the traditional way of burning.
We must be careful not to implement westernized ideology which separates death and living spaces in this way. While in the UK and elsewhere, our dead occupy graveyards which do not really feature in our day-to-day lives. India is unique because life and death are integrated, so it can be truly enlightening about the way we regard mortality and death hits.
I suppose you could call this a contested space because the community here is resisting what the government wants. Even though the government policy appears to be working in the best interest of the people, it fails to understand the significance people attach to these rights.
If the government really wants to modernize Varanasi, it will have to redraw its distance, calculating means and tap into the community's strong sense of sacred values. I think that the government is uncomfortable with these areas' emphasis on traditional rituals, which contrasts with a forward-thinking and clean-up India that it wants to promote.
They certainly don't have the same restrictions on the factories in India which are contributing to vast amounts of pollution. Obviously, these companies are strengthening India's revenue and the community in Varanasi is an easy target. The government is clearly selective and they are also lax when it comes to issuing license for motorboats that are used to travel in Ganges. This is because state earns much more from the license of motorboats compared to traditional boats.
From what I learned in GE 2206, I see that the concept of biopolitics and governmentality is applied here. Even though the state implements policies to govern the mentality of individuals to control pollution, there are other social actors involved, such as tourists. These tourists are usually from the middle class and have a preference on what they want to see and what not, such as the cops. These tourists influence the biopolitical programs taken by the state, such that the landscape of Ganges is beautified to suit the needs of tourists rather than tackling root problems and understanding significance of Ganges to the Hindu community.